Welcome back to it, the Thursday edition of the Now Morning Show, where we're talking all things Tobago. And up next, the 66th session of the Commission of the Status of Women will take place from the 14th to the 25th of March this year. And to chat more about it, we are joined by Ambassador Nkosi Phillips, the founder of the TT Youths Will Rise organization. Miss Phillips, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Pleasant. Good morning, Miss Inca.
I love how you made sure to get the pronunciation right.
Yes, so good morning to you and the viewers of TTT and all the viewers on our social media pages. Good morning.
Good morning. Getting straight into the conversation, activities will be planned, things will be accomplished. Tell me what we can look forward to for this year's session of the Commission of the Status of Women.
Well, so far they have the youth preparation series for the NGO CSW 66, which has started even about 3 weeks ago, and I've been in some of the discussions. The last one I went on the 16th of February, it was male allyship in the feminist movement, which we would have discussed during the session. We discussed the engagement of men and boys in the gender equality and feminist movements, and we'll explore questions on how men and boys can be effective true allies to it, and we discuss how can we have them participating, because we need that allyship, because we're seeing a lot of violence against women, and we need to understand where the men are coming from, why the violence against women, what have their minds going towards that sense of violence. So there was a big discussion on it, and they looked at some of the avenues whereby the discussion for men, when a man is being abused or something, a man is killed, the discussion ends. But when something happens to women, that's the beginning of a discussion, the beginning of policies and procedures. So I think in that discussion, we looked at whereby a lot of us are at fault in regards to the protection of women and not protecting the men as well, and looking at where the men are coming from. So there was a big discussion there. We have a lot of excuse me voice, I lost my voice during the carnival season. we have also this morning at 8:30, 8 o'clock, I'll be joining in the protection preventions against against and reporting on intimidation or reprisals for cooperation with the UN. I think the objective is to provide a platform to share and discuss how preventing and addressing acts of intimidation and reprisals for engagement with the UN in the field of human rights is a key component to enabling a safe civic environment to promote the voices, agencies, and leadership of women, human rights, and gender. So I can tell you right now, I would not have any rest until the date of the 16th. There were 2 events that I supposed to attend in New York. I am still awaiting funding. If I do get funding, I will attend. I have not signed up for them as yet because I don't know how the funding is going to run. I'm supposed to leave on the 7th or to get there in case I have to quarantine and stuff. So I don't know how that's going right now. I'm still awaiting funding responses, and then I'll know if I'll be able to go to the convention or I'll have to do it virtually.
Virtually, right. I was just about to say, because most of what you're describing here is a lot of discussion at this point so that you can come back home to relay the information to the organizations on the ground. Now, that can be done virtually so that we don't have to miss the conversation. But it also sounds like it's just the beginning. We are on the cusp of that change because, as you rightfully said, to begin that process of forming that allyship with men, we need to understand where they're coming from. And that in itself is a conversation and a dialogue that needs to take place. So as much as you need to have that funding, I do hope that you still virtually attend to share that message. But for those looking on who want to contribute towards your trip, how can that be done?
Well, we have TT Youths Will Rise. We're now in the process of forming our bank account. You also could contact me at 680-6893. We have our Mount Pleasant group account in Tobago. We do not have an account for Trinidad as yet, but if you need to contact, you can contact me at 680-6893. The problem is not only just attending. We have other things that we wanted to do because TT Youths Will Rise has been in partnership with other NGOs in the United States, Baltimore, New York City. We've been doing a lot of our programs in these cities. And we also, just last week, I announced that we are now going to sell all the rights to our youth rehabilitation facility. And that reason is because since 2015, we have been clamoring, trying to get the government's attention, trying to get the THA's attention to get assistance, needed a piece of land to start the youth rehabilitation camp facility. And this would have provided the youths of Tobago especially, and Trinidad, the ability to be rehabilitated after their first time offense, their second time offense, or their repeating offenses, because we would have put things in place to curb that bullying in school and other things. But nobody wanted to assist us. Since 2015, we have never received any form of assistance from the government nor the THA. And that has not stopped us from continuing to work for the youths and to continue. We have worked with the private sector, and we continue to do so. Even for Christmas, we distributed 10,876 hampers throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and 987 laptop and tablet devices. And we didn't do that with the government or THA assistance. We did that with the private sector and all the small business. So, you know, it's very hard. In 2022, we are now 8 years in our organization and not even assistance. So at the end of the day, it will not hamper TT Youth Will Rise and my executive from working with the youths. We will continue to work, and right now we are looking at accrediting the organization internationally. So we will be now making contributions at the UN after we've been accredited. So we're waiting on the credentials to be accredited, and when we do that, then we will have a voice in the UN that will speak for Trinidad and Tobago how it's supposed to be spoken for.
Beautiful. Now, that also translates into more activities and future activities for the TT Youth Will Rise organization. Tell me about what are the plans for the future, since beyond this conference, there will be messages to share.
Yes. What are we going to do? We are going to try our avenues of spreading the message again. What the organizations that we have in Tobago and Trinidad that we partner in, the NGOs, we are going to send the message out, because I think at every conference it's been recorded, and they're also sending documentation to us so we can transfer the message. Other things that are also happening is that what in one of the discussions that we had just last week, we were talking about women and how they perceive, and it's called respect for yourself before men respect you. And one of I was targeted in that meeting because they said to me, why do you women in Trinidad and Tobago want to be respected when you don't respect yourself and you're gyrating and half naked in public? So I was like, what? So when I explained to them, I said, this is carnival, and I am making no I'm making no excuse for them and how they behave or what they wear. But it's not just only in Trinidad and Tobago. It's happened in Jamaica. It happened in Miami Carnival. So I don't think you all should just look at Trinidad and Tobago and how the women conduct themselves, which is something that we have to look at, because some of the videos that we're seeing is very explicit. And women, that does not give the right to a man to rape or to abuse a woman. Not because a woman has a short skirt on, that says, okay, rape me, kill me. No. You have to respect yourself, because as you rape a woman or inflict harm to a woman, you are doing it to your mother that gave birth to you. So it's about sending the messages. And I'm very disappointed in the gender affairs minister, because some of the policies are mostly on women, and I'm not hearing policies about men, the protection of men, policies on our young people. And I'm hoping that I can spread that message again as I've continued to spread the message. I've tried to reach out, meeting to the ministers and stuff, but they don't want to listen and they don't want to hear. So at the end of the day, I'm working with whatever resources I have, and I'm spreading the message as fast as I can, with the best of my knowledge and the best of my ability, to the people and to the youth organization of Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, Nkosi, we appreciate that you continue to strive forward despite of any challenge, in spite rather of any challenges, and come what may, continue to see the need for allyship, as we understand, and of course strides forward as we continue to battle gender-based violence, specifically against women. We're going to check in with you perhaps a bit later on, as there will be more information to share on the findings of the conference, and hopefully see you in that seat in the UN, as you mentioned before. But for now, thank you very much for joining us this morning in our morning show.
Thank you so much for having me, and you have a wonderful, wonderful time. And I like how you wine for Carnival.
Oh gosh, all right. If it's any
Yes, take care.
consolation,
Thank
that
you so
happens every
much.
day, because I do respect myself and enjoy my culture. Ambassador
Thank you so much.
Nkosi Phillips, the founder of the TT Youth Will Rise organization, joining us this morning to give us some updates from Tobago as the discussion continues. Now, I hear you loud and clear. I hope that we do continue these conversations, as she said, whether or not she actually physically makes it to the conferences or has to do them virtually, because the discussions need to be had, and the allyship that is necessary will take us there. Guys, we take a break and come back with more here on the Now Morning Show. Stick around.